love sage after a fresh rainstorm. It smells so amazing. Just want to rub it all over my fingers, get that smell on me. Just makes me want to go cook a duck, roast it in the oven. It is Saturday, May the 14th, 2022, and Sarah and I are back over here in eastern Washington. Showers have just ended, and we are starting an afternoon hike through Columbia National Wildlife Refuge in Washington's channeled Scabland country. Feature of this hike is the beautiful perfect columns of the Drumheller channels and the Elephant Mountain lava flow. We don't really have a specific destination or plan in mind. We're just kind of wandering around and exploring and poking through all these crevices. So hoping for the best. I'm really excited for this hike to get going. Here we go. We've worked our way up on top of this lava flow mesa, and there's one of the main coulees separating this area. We might head there later, and it's just an amazing springtime view of the channeled Scablands. Surrounded by farmland, but it's such a just remote place still. Very quiet, very wild, lots of birds, lots of signs of wildlife.
Sounds pathetic.
We've kind of reached this impasse on top of this lava flow. We've kind of made a decision. We're going to head off in that direction there across the Scablands for some of those more dramatic looking coulees over there. I know there's some lakes off in that direction, and we're hoping that we can just kind of follow the coulees out in this direction. And then there should be a bigger one off there to the east that we can follow back to this main coulee behind us that leads up to the parking lot. Really cool feature here. If you get up on top of the lava flows, you can see where the lava cooled into Tootsie Roll columns. Very smooth. On average, I'd say six-sided. I think that's a hexagon. Here is one more look at the hexagonal columns of the Elephant Mountain lava flow, which is younger than the Rosa flow of Frenchman Coulee. The Rosa flow is still here, but it's lower down in the stratigraphy of layers. This is a younger flow. I don't think as extensive. We have dropped back down to the base of the flow, so we can walk along the edge of it so we can see the columns from a different perspective. And they definitely have got some contorted patterns. This for sure has an entablature feature. You can see it right there cutting the flow in half, where the rock actually looks like it's like stacked, flaky, with columns on either side of it. Has something to do with different cooling processes, I would imagine. I'm going to guess that those giant boulders, just of clumps of columns that are just sitting there, are what was left after the floodwaters receded. And that just gauges how much forces were at play here that made all this landscape. I mean, a tremendous amount of water was just gushing over this numerous times. And that's, I mean, the landscape's barren, it's arid, it gets really hot, it gets really brown here in the summertime. But it's the story that made it. And right here, this would have been ground zero. The water went over this lava flow. And again, I'm second guessing myself now on what the entablature really is. I don't know now if it's this middle piece here or if it's this stuff up on top here, and the other half of the lava flow has been removed. Because I do know that entablature it's in the middle of the flow. I guess I just don't know which one it really is. It's okay to not know. Just got to find out. In its time, these lava flows were very, very, very similar to the red hot rivers of lava you see on the Hawaiian Islands or Iceland today. A tremendous volume of lava erupted from the fissures that made these flows. Lava and magma is pretty much classified by the amount of iron or silica that is in the lava when it erupts. This lava here had very little silica, and silica is oxygen and silicon combined together, and it would make it more light in color and not as red or rusty or brown. So what that means is this lava here was more than likely greater than 60% iron, magnesium, heavy metals, which makes it what we call basalt. It rusts, it does weather away because of the rusting, and it's okay for rock climbing, but not the best, not like good granite, and it would be referred to as a mafic. It's more mafic in its classification, simply because low silica, higher metals. Yes, these routes are very tempting, I have to say, and I can see why they would put a sign here. It's kind of a bummer. It's one of the motivations that we had to come here, was to find some places to go climbing. Still a really fantastic spot, and columns like none other in the world. Kind of reminds me of uncarved moai from Easter Island. And then it made me think, you know, what if the Easter Islanders had had access to this resource? Oh my. We are walking through the channeled Scablands. Definitely lots of signs of water-created features. Rocks laying around, giant potholes, channels, very roly-poly, ups and downs. We're trying to decide if we're going to take this coulee right here and head down, or if we're going to stick to the mesa up here. And we ruled on sticking to the mesa and walking out, seeing what we can see from there. Lots of boulders scattered about, kind of just dropped when the floodwaters allowed them. And kind of a featureless landscape at the same time. Just came up through those prairie channels, found a couple of roads that haven't been used in a while, and came up to this bluff. We were greeted with a very beautiful sight. Just look at these coulees right here. This is why I came here. This is probably what this place has looked like for thousands of years. We could have gone down that coulee to the right there, but we're going to try the one up here to the left. We think they both go to the same area that we're aiming for. We just came across this coulee, yet another one, and we are going to drop down into it. So we think this is the one that will take us east and further down to where we turn south to head back to the trailhead. We could also stay up on this mesa, but we're opting to try the coulee instead. Just came out of that beautiful coulee right there. There was a lot of cool spots up in there, and it opens up into this bigger coulee. There's a road down in there, if you can see it right there. My prediction was correct. It led to one of these Crab Creek Marsh Units, part of the Refuge. I wonder if you can duck hunt down there. It looks like it's pretty well maintained, and they flood it. And we're just going to kind of make our way along these bluffs up here above this coulee and make our way back, heading south now to, I think our coulee that we need to go up again is right over there by that mesa. We need to go around that corner, and then we'll be heading back to our starting position. We're just going to follow these lava flows that way to that point and see what happens. We have approached the home stretch. This is our home coulee right here. It heads back up to where we started at Crab Creek Marsh Unit 3. The road is right there, and that will take us back up that coulee to the car. It is approaching sunset, and Sarah and I climbed up here to this bluff, and this pretty interesting looking lava flow to enjoy sunset before we have to leave Columbia National Wildlife Refuge. Now, the place does close at sunset, and it opens at sunrise. We spent about, we started hiking today about 11, and we finished probably around 5 o'clock p.m. And all total, I'd say we walked probably 8 miles, 9 miles through the channeled Scablands. A lot different from the coulees over off of the Columbia, like Echo and Frenchman Coulee. Those are much more grander and bigger. These channels were shallower, but way more canyon-like, and a lot more braids, and they just kind of went everywhere. Very rolly topography, lots of prairie, lots of grass, lots of flat mesas, lots of open expanses. It started out raining, feet got wet right away, and then slowly the clouds went away and the sun came out, and it ended up getting probably about 70 degrees today. Pretty warm for sure. Lots of birds, red-winged blackbirds. I saw 2 cinnamon teal in the little pockets of water coming up one of the coulees. Lots of mallards, lots of Canada geese, lots of starlings and swallows. Saw a beaver. Definitely a lot of wildlife in this place. It's a little island. Incredible hike. Had a lot of fun. It was definitely new, different. Feeling more and more at home over here. I always come over here to go hunting, and I've always wanted to walk through this area. Finally got a chance. Today was all about dreams coming true for sure. We're going to enjoy the sunset and say our last goodbyes to May 14th, and go find a place to set up camp and see what we can get into tomorrow. It was an awesome day. Can't wait to come back and explore some more of this area. We're just getting up on top of this lava flow for a bigger picture view of the world around us. Full moon is up over there. Directly over, there's more perfect columns over on that side of the coulee. There's the parking lot down there. Way off in the distance, Saddle Mountains. And the flood waters pooled up against that and made a giant lake. That drained eventually. And then the flood waters kind of went down that way. And all of this would have been underwater. And you can see the stark difference between what was flooded from the Missoula floods and what was untouched. Over there, Frenchman Hills. Can't really see them that well, but they're very smooth and they still carry their topsoil. And there's just a very stark difference between the terrain here and there. The basalt flows are still there. They're just under layers of loess. There's more columns right there. The hexagon tops of the columns. A lot of this was removed by flood water. There's looking north. Sarah and I were over on top of that mesa of lava flow earlier today. And there's the coulee that we hiked back along. We came up that coulee on our way home.